Hi, I'm Doug Kiel, and I have, for the last 35 years, run a parallel study to the heart study that is focused on the skeleton. And I'll start by just giving you a brief history of the fact that we started very early on in the late 80s with radioactive isotopes to measure the bone density. And over the years, we've progressed as the technology has developed, and we're now able to perform high-resolution bone imaging that opens up a lot of opportunities for further research. We've spent a lot of our work focused on nutrition, and I've just provided a few papers here studying everything from silicon in the diet, which you don't think of a lot unless you're eating a lot of sand, to homocysteine, which is a reflection of B vitamin status. And most notably on the right are some results of our longitudinal analysis of bone measures over time, showing that the greater the amount of protein in the diet, the less the skeletal losses occur over time. So this is a potential target for a nutritional approach to bone health. Just to give you our most recent, these images, I always like to look at these, and using some machine learning analysis of these images, we were able to classify individuals into these three sub-phenotypes, which we call the healthy phenotype, the low density phenotype, and then on the right, a low volume phenotype as examples. And if you look at the incident fractures that occur, you can see that you probably don't want to be in the group to the right because you will have a higher risk for fracture. But before we had these instruments, we used to take X-rays that Framingham did years ago, and they got put into these large cabinets in a storage place down the road from the Framingham study. So I got a lot of high school students, my son and a bunch of other people, and we wedged open these rusted drawers, and we looked at these X-rays of the spine that someone had taken and just left for posterity. And we were able to grade the amount of calcium, not in the bone, but in the adjacent aorta. And we developed a very poor man's semi-quantitative scale. And with the help of our cardiovascular colleagues, we showed that just by evaluating the amount of calcium in a simple lateral X-ray, you could predict cardiovascular incident disease. This has been built into the software of bone density machines as a result of this work. And we've also, like other people today have explained, we've been getting into the omics of bone disease, and we've done metabolomics, genomics, and we recently completed a microbiome evaluation. So what's in your gut can also have effects on skeletal metabolism. And finally, I'll just leave you with, we departed from the bone and moved into the muscle, and we decided to measure the total muscle mass using a simple test where the participant takes a small capsule of deuterated creatine, and it goes in equilibrium with the amount of muscle that an individual has. And by getting a urine specimen 3 days later, you can calculate the total muscle mass. So I hope that's given you a flavor for what we've done. And it takes a community of collaborators to get this kind of research going. But we welcome any of you who want to see me afterwards interested in musculoskeletal research. Thank you.